Hi, I'm Kate. Let's talk theater. Today we are continuing my journey of creating the entire Company 2021 Broadway revival cast in Funko Pops. So far we have Katrina Lank's Bobby and Patti LuPone's Joanne, and today we are going to be working on Jennifer Simard's Sarah using a Maya Lopez Hawkeye Funko Pop as our base. I picked this Funko Pop because, as you can see, she's got a ponytail and she's got a jumpsuit situation going, and so I thought she would be a great fit. Right off the bat, I forgot that Marvels are all bobbleheads, and that was simply not going to do. I looked all over the internet to try to find some advice and couldn't really find anything that was helpful, but then I realized, why not fill her head with glue? Not filling it all the way, but just sort of wrapping the hot glue around the spring itself, and that seemed to do the trick. So if you ever want to stop a Funko Pop from being a bobblehead, there you have it. So here she is, sort of fresh, getting her ready. As you can see, there's glue in there. And first thing we need to do was get rid of her pew pew. Sarah did not have one of those. She did not want the brownies that badly. Now, this is the part where I really need to learn care and patience. Despite how many of these I plan on doing, I do not have the hand for this sort of thing. I do not have the patience. I do not have it in me. I probably need a file here to kind of like get the rest, because obviously the bulk was easy, but it's her whole hand. And as you can imagine, me doing this enough times, yeah, ripped her hand right out. Ripped her hand right out. We're gonna have to turn back to the hot glue gun because that is pretty rough. I think what I will do is trim it down a little bit and then just paint the rest of it to match her hand. So I wanted to share a little bit about my experience so far with TDF, because TDF is something that I just didn't engage in for a little while now, and now that I know about it and have had at least a little bit of experience, I'm questioning why I hadn't done it sooner. So TDF is the Theater Development Fund, and it is a nonprofit that helps with accessibility to theater. So the program itself, you have to qualify. There's different ways, different communities that you may be a part of, and you have to decide if it's worth it to you, right? If you, there is a membership fee of $42 a year at this time. So, you have to make sure that that is a fee that you feel like you will use the program enough to warrant that cost. There's no guarantee of what shows may or may not end up there, so you are taking a little bit of a gamble, and I feel like that was originally why I hadn't really gotten involved, because I just wondered, I tend to win the lottery, I tend to get lucky enough, and I tend to just live close enough to the city and have the availability that I can play the lottery fairly often, but I found that there were still things that A, I would miss out on, or B, like playing the lottery, it's tough. Like, it's tough to constantly be working with a day's notice, maybe 2 days notice if you're lucky. So when I saw that TDF had these opportunities to, buy tickets, days, a week, 2 weeks in advance, I think a month in advance I bought a ticket for, so I haven't gone yet, but like that's amazing, right? And you can buy more than two, right? So where have I been? So that is very exciting. Like I said, I have some coming up that I haven't gone to yet, but I did actually have my first experience at Cabaret. So I bought one ticket just for me through TDF about a week in advance to go see the Wednesday matinee of Cabaret. And all the different shows seem to have all different kinds of availability when it comes to what they're willing to offer. Just to interject too, look at this yellow paint over the black hair. Like, actual nightmare work is happening right now. Like, just that was the first coat of many, 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 and that hairline is horrifying. So anyway, my experience with Cabaret was actually really positive. I ended up in a great spot. It was in orchestra. Now, if you don't know, right, Cabaret is at the August Wilson, but they have completely changed the theater and staging setup to look like the Kit Kat Club. So it's one small circle stage in the middle and seating all around. So I was in the orchestra. The first, I think, kind of 3 rows, if you will, again, it's a little bit non-traditional, are sort of like table seating. They're the bougie seats. I was 3rd row from there. So like kind of 6th row. I was probably like 4 yards from the theater. I have no spatial awareness. I cannot help you with that. But I looked up the price. And again, there's no guarantee of where you end up when you buy a TDF ticket. It is totally the same as lottery or rush in that regard. It's a little more expensive, so it's $60 for a ticket, $64 with fees, right? So compared to a lottery, you may be paying, like if I had won the cabaret lottery, I believe I would have paid $49. But again, I knew ahead of time, right? There's more of a guarantee. There, you have a little bit more control over picking times and all of that. So you're kind of, I feel like, paying for that luxury. Like this was something that I could prepare for, and to me that was worth the extra $15. But really great seat. Again, very, very lucky. Oh, here, so I did not film myself doing the first layer of her little jumpsuit. Her little jumpsuit is all navy, so I've got some navy paint there. And it's time for layer 2. Because it is a darker color over black, this is going to be a much, much easier time. Thank God, because it's rough out here. And as you can see, I do put just a drop of water in the paint. I find it just helps it go a little bit smoothly. That was something I found online when I was looking up kind of tips on how to paint and kind of customize the Funko Pops. And it definitely seems to do the trick. As you can see as well, the hair is a little more golden. The hair has been really, really tough, and there are probably many layers to go from what I have done so far. So yeah, TDF, I ended up getting a seat that, had it been bought like from their direct site, I think SeatGeek, it would have been $133. I paid, $64, and then, so right there, the membership fee for me was taken care of, right? And obviously the membership fee will be spread out over multiple tickets. I already have tickets to 3 other shows, so I'm definitely jumping in and definitely using it. I feel like this is a dangerous thing for me to have. Like, my wallet was safe sometimes from my shenanigans because it was up to like Lucky Seat and Broadway Direct and Telecharge if I was going to be spending money on one day or another. And now I just feel like I have way, way too much power. So, it's a little scary. It's a little scary. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, I'm excited. I would love to know your thoughts if you have used TDF or have used it in the past but stopped using it or haven't used it yet. I would love to know your thoughts. The membership is for a year, so I mean, I'm locked in. I've paid for it, but like I said, I already kind of feel like it paid for itself. I'm curious to see what continues to go up there. It's definitely something where you have to act very, very quickly. There were some tickets that went up today, the day I'm filming this, for Floyd Collins. I maybe checked around noon and saw that there were some dates, and by the time I went to buy them, by like 5, 6 o'clock, a bunch of them are already gone. And like, that's the thing too, you have no idea how many things they are offering or anything like that. So yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. Now, as you can see here, I am getting ready to do some of the accents. I watered the green paint down and realized there was no way that I was going to do a precise accent, a precise line with watered down paint. I am barely going to be able to do a line with good paint. This was actually horrifying. So we do a line and it's horrendous. You can tell, yeah, no, that's obviously, that's not really going to do the trick. This is the worst part about the Funko Pops, is like, if you mess up, because it's the acrylic paint, you are just going to have to paint over like the whole thing again. So again, this is not going to be an exact match. I think I honestly did a pretty good job with those lines. I am shook. I am clearly learning some patience here. I am proud of myself. Shout out. Yeah, this was that one was less good. Definitely. The bent elbow, that was a tough one. But yeah, this has been a really fun time. I actually just today bought my last Funko Pop for the girls. There are way less girls in company than guys, so that is sort of a win. But I definitely feel like the guys are going to be way more difficult because they just have less defining features inherently compared to the women in terms of their outfits being a little more similar, their hair being a little more similar. It is definitely going to be much more of a task to get that done. So once I finish these accents, I think the only thing I'm going to be doing is really just touching up, fixing the hair. I definitely got some blue on the hair. I think I'm going to have to do another layer or two. Again, covering the black has been really, really difficult. And I might do the eyebrows, but I feel like only if I can find the courage and the strength to do the eyebrows. So I will definitely be following up. So this is how our girl is coming along so far. I think she is looking pretty good. I think I messed up the hairline as minimally as possible. Like I said, I will touch up some of those lines, clean everything up. I am definitely looking forward to it. Let me know in the comments below. Have you done any custom Funko Pops? If you could, what would you do? And let me know about your experiences with TDF. Like I said, I'm new to it. I'm nosy. I want to know, if you guys are thinking that it's worth it. Any tips and tricks, any ways I should be using it that maybe I just haven't thought of yet. Let me know in the comments below. I would appreciate it if you could like and share and subscribe and do all of the lovely YouTube things. If you want to find me on social media, my @ is the same @TheaterKates. I appreciate you so much for watching, so much for going on this company revival Funko Pop journey with me, and I will see you next time to talk more theater. Bye!